What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we're here with Terek Hunter. Now, we had spoke to that brother, what was it, maybe about 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, it's been about 2 years.
Yeah, about 2 years ago, him and his wife, they're on the continent, they're from America. And I'll let you feel, them, the story and everything about, him and his wife and how they transitioned and everything to the continent. But Tarik, thank you for joining us on the show today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, Tarik, tell us, everyone, about, how you end up getting to the continent, if maybe because it's been a while, some new people that showed up since then. So can you fill people in?
Sure. So my name is Terek Hunter. Me and my wife and family have been on the continent since 2016. We first came as U.S. diplomats, so working for the government in South Africa. We were there for a little bit over a year. Since then, we've taken different roles with NGOs, startups as well. So we've connected and been in West Africa, Liberia. We traveled to Senegal, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, and we relocated to Rwanda for a bit. Now I'm currently in Uganda doing some work for a startup, me running operations and my wife as a chief operating officer. So we've been in Africa enjoying the time away and really just being around our brothers and sisters.
All right. So, you say you got something new going on now. What is it?
Yeah. So Phil, thank you so much, man. And it's definitely good to see you again. So I partnered with a Ghanaian brother, Ghanaian American as well. And about 3 months ago with the COVID issues and the pandemic that were hitting us, extremely hard as far as our people go. We started manufacturing COVID-19 masks. All of our masks are washable, cloth, filtered, and FDA approved for civilian use. And so we did this in relation to how our brothers and sisters were definitely being impacted in the States, how people weren't able to access unless they were diagnosed or in a hospital. And we wanted to foresee things before they actually hit, and put a mask on our people before they, go out and carry on their daily activities. On top of that, all of our masks were FDA approved in Ghana for civilian use, and since then we've had about 3,000 orders from the States, and just wanted to get the word out. On your platform, Phil, I know you're informative and always willing to bring brothers and sisters on this line, so I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, so you say a lot of orders are coming in from the U.S. So is that you been your biggest customer during this pandemic?
So mainly it's been one of our biggest customers. We've had some large telecoms on the continent as well, some major pharmacies and some banks here on the continent of Africa as well. The challenge here on the continent is resources, right? So a lot of this stuff is coming from China. And so we thought to take the initiative and say, hey, we're Black Americans, we're living on the continent, me since 2016, my partner Quab since I think 15 years back. And so we're amongst each other and let's figure out a way to protect our people by working with various ministries and telecoms and in the general public.
Okay, so when you went there, you started a business. We have a lot of Black Americans. Here we had another sister come on last week or so. She had went to Ghana and started a food truck, and she's doing good doing that. Young sister at that.
Sure.
What is the based on you living in America, then you went to the continent since 2016 and been in several countries. How have you been received? Because a lot of them, seem like they're so afraid to leave, the murderous white supremacists. Like they feel like they have it so made, and yet we're treated so horribly in this country. One minute we want to wave the American flag, then the next minute we want to say, look what they're doing to us, and we got it better over here because look, they're trying to come over here, so why do we want to go over there? You understand what I'm saying? So maybe you can answer that question for me.
Yeah, so to be honest with you, man, since we've been here, we've gotten nothing but love from the people. We've been to about 8 different countries. We have kids as well. We've all been received with open arms. It hasn't been any hostility, no hate. It's all like, hey, thank you so much, for coming, leaving America. What's America like? And then I have to explain to them that it's not all peaches and cream and, the KKK stuff and racial injustice and things of that nature. So, for people afraid, I definitely recommend you travel to the continent, get your feet wet. It's nothing like this. We brought family here. We brought friends to different countries. And once they step on the continent and see how much the continent is developed compared to what they see on TV, many of them have been back and definitely foresee moving to the continent long term.
Okay, so now you said you are what country are you currently in?
We're currently in Uganda. So we were in Liberia. We were initially in Malawi. We were in Liberia. We were in Rwanda, and now we're in Uganda. But we traveled all over East and West Africa, and seen different parts of Africa, and just French speaking, English speaking, and really been able to see how our brothers and sisters are really living on the continent. And, the experience has been pleasant and really joyful. And it gives us extra motivation that we made the right decision.
Okay, so now it's since you've been there, and it's a question I have for that. It's going to relate back to what you're doing now with CustomLooks.com. When people say that, well, why do you want to go over there when they're coming over here? Could you explain the difference about a Black American going over and what is our advantage going versus a lot of people that's, continental Africans that's trying to come over here? Could you explain the difference? They don't understand the difference. I notice. And you probably could tell us that you've been there.
So the difference really is we have that hint of American, right? Understanding standards, understanding business, understanding processes, understanding customer service for the most part, understanding how to relate with different people. And that's a competitive advantage when you're coming, especially from a business standpoint, really being able to build capacity. You will see a lot of businesses here that are doing great, but if they tighten up just 90, maybe 5% of their customer service, they would, quadruple their earnings. And so, being Black American, being Black, period, and living in America, they really grasp to us from an education standpoint and just to learn. It's not about, hey, let me get some of your money. I know you guys, give billions of dollars to this continent. It's all about, hey, how can you help me, or how can you help my business, or how can I help you, learn different ways of the culture but also teaching them how to improve upon, their business aspects and communication, customer service, you name it.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is we come in with advantage, and then also, with the American dollar, that's another thing that a lot of brothers and sisters here don't understand is that we go with the American dollar and we have just like one person explained, we have $2,000. So in some countries you can buy an acre of land.
Oh, totally. And that's the thing, man. Having the smallest amount of finances, or just if you can invest the smallest amount, if you came with 2,000, for example, that would be maybe 30,000 in equivalent, compared to what they're making in earnings. So, if you come with the right business plan or right plan, have your dollars in order, you can definitely sustain and really get your feet wet, because Africa is so forgiving. You see people, entrepreneurs every day. And so it doesn't take much from a financial standpoint to start something. It's just about having that investment and a clear functional plan in place for, failure and any other things that come with that. But yeah, the finances, it doesn't take much to live here. Everything's relatively cost efficient, whether it's food, whether it's rent, medical, you name it. And to be honest with you, we feel healthier than we ever did living in the States by, having access to fresh farmers markets all around where we live, and then the prices as well being extremely low. And then we're also able to benefit and provide to their economies.
Okay, so anytime you want to start a business and we see the Chinese, for instance, come in and starting businesses, but I'm a firm believer of we can complain on the Chinese, and we do plenty of it here because of the things they're doing, but at the same time, they're coming and we aren't going. That's kind of what it is. It's a reality.
Oh, totally.
And so maybe you explain to the people how easy it is to set up business in the African nation, because they think business the way it is in the African nation versus America. America make it almost impossible to set up business, especially as a Black person. But maybe you can explain the difference, how it's to set up business in the African nation.
Yeah, it really depends on the country. Every country varies, but I'm a firm believer in every country that we've been in, that we've interacted in. I mean, 90% of these people say, please come invest in my country, come invest in because we know you have the capabilities. What's been amazing, like I know a brother as well who's in Rwanda who's doing sports apparel. He started just off the whim and was like, hey, I'm here. This is what I'm going to do. And he was able to get his permit, his approval, minimum down to even open up a shop. And the rest is history. He's been doing this for, I think, 2 or 3 years with sports apparel. So when you're looking to come to the continent, yes, the Chinese are here, but, I'm a firm believer that these people are willing and more open to having brothers and sisters from America come to the continent. They're extremely displeased with the Chinese. 90% of my interactions when I do talk to them that work with a Chinese company, they barely get paid. They get mistreated any kind of way, communicated verbally like we would be getting abused by the white people in the States. So it's definitely a lot easier. And these countries are really, really, the opportunity is so tremendous. And they're basically begging Americans to come, Black Americans especially, to come home, whether it's Ghana, whether it's you name it, find out which country works for you. But the opportunity for business and just starting this is so much more welcoming than us trying to do mass in the States, for example, or sports apparel in the States, or a food truck in the States, right? So yeah, I definitely encourage people to come visit. If they're looking to do something like a business, have their business plan, already have their funds straight, and start just interacting. The opportunity to even get meetings with people are so much more easier when they see that you're a Black American compared to the counterparts. And so, in Uganda, for example, in Rwanda, where we were, Liberia, I was able to get meetings instantly, talk to people about what I'm doing, me and my wife are doing, and the rest is history.
All right, brother. So tell people how to get to the website, man, so they can check out, the mask and everything you got going on. What's the name of the website? And just let people know.
Yeah, so the website is www.kustomlooks.ghana.com. And on that website, I also will share a link with you, Phil. We have all of our masks on there. If you do go through this document that I did share with you, Phil, as well, we will take off $10 for the shipping. So people are able to order various masks. We have various different designs, also having solid prints as well. All of our masks ship out of Ghana every Friday to the States. And so if you get your order in by Thursday, we pack it, have it ready for shipment. Once it ships to the States, you will have it between 3 to 5 business days.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure, we'll go put the link in the pinned comment to make sure you can get there and pick you up a mask, support, definitely, Black owned businesses, especially, definitely we only have to use that term on the continent for the most part. Unless it's Chinese or somebody else trying to come through there. But, brother, like I said, I'm glad you're doing good. I'm also glad that, you guys got some more businesses, and that you could explain to people what's the difference with Black Americans going, versus continental Africans, and why they possibly want to come over here, because that's a big, education gap. I really know that a lot of them don't know, and that's why I try to ask questions like that to people like you who are there, that came from America. So, brother, we definitely thank you for, coming on and letting people know, and you stay safe.